Hi guys, welcome back to Spelling and Word Study. My name is Mrs. Rhoades and I'm here to get you started on Unit 28, Words with Schwa. Please take a second to gather your materials. You will need your red book open to page 173. You will also need some colorful pens, markers, or crayons. Remember, whatever I mark on my board, you should be marking on your page. Please save room for a key as well. All right, so we spent the last several weeks learning about long vowels. Long A says A, long E says E, I says I, O says O, and U says oo or you. Well, last week we wrapped up with long U. So today we're moving on to a new vowel sound, and we call that the schwa. Schwa is neither long nor short. It's kind of a lazy tongue sound because it comes out sounding like this. I like to think of it as a stomach punch sound, right? Think about a time where maybe your little brother or sister came barreling down the hall to give you a hug and you got their head right here in your belly, okay? That is the sound we make when we get punched in the belly or we get a little kid's head in the belly, but we call that the schwa, okay? And today there are two patterns we're looking at that make that schwa sound. Sometimes we use OO in words like book and foot, and sometimes we use the letter U in words like full and pull. So I want to start by reading the list with you. As I do, I want you to listen for that sound, and I want you to use your eyes to notice the OO or the U in the middle of each word. Please repeat after me. Book, foot, full, good, look, pull, push, put, took, would. Did you hear that sound? Great. So please choose a color. And the first thing I want you to do is go through your words and draw a box around the OO in book and foot and good. Okay? Now, you already learned that OO says oo in words like moon and food, and that's true. So now, though, you have to remind yourself that OO has a second sound. And sometimes, instead of trying that oo sound, you're going to have to try that sound. Okay? B, k, f, t, g, d. We see it again in look. L, k. We see it again in took. T, k. And we see it again in would. W, d. So in your key, please make a note that purple box or whatever color you used represents the schwa sound. We use OO to represent that schwa sound. All right, choose a second color, and this time I want you to look for the letter U in full. Now you've learned that U says U up, right? That's the short U sound. Today we're using the letter U to represent the schwa sound, that sound. So we see it in full, pull, push, and put. Okay? Pull, push, put. They all use that U to make an sound. So in your key, green box equals the letter U, which is also representing the schwa sound. Okay, couple other things I want to review with you quickly. Notice we have some bonus letters. We have the LL working together to make one sound. We have it again at the end of pull, two letters making one sound. So over here, we have the bonus letters. Okay? We also have a few digraphs this week, or maybe just one actually. We have the SH in push. Remember, when S and H come together, they make a whole new sound. They say sh. So there's our digraph. Okay. We also have a homophone this week. Do you remember what that is? Two or more words that sound the same but are spelled differently and have different meanings. So we see that with the word wood. I'm going to underline that because this kind of wood is what trees are made out of, right? We cut down trees so we can use the wood to build houses, to make furniture, or to burn in a fire. Those are all uses for wood. But there's also this kind of wood, which means, would you like a glass of water? Or I wish you would stop making that noise. So would and would are homophones. So let's mark that as well. Two or more words that sound the same but are spelled differently and have different meanings. Okay, what I want to do next is I want to go through and talk about different parts of speech. So let's look for nouns first. I bet you know what a book is, something you can open up and read. So that is definitely a noun. A foot is also a noun. Remember, a foot can be a body part, that thing that you stand on, right? You have two of them, 2 feet. But a foot can also be a unit of measurement. It can represent 12 inches. So if you look at a ruler is 12 inches or 1 foot long. Okay, look can be used as a noun if you're talking about a look, like mom gave me an angry look when I burped at the dinner table. So a look can be a noun. And then would is also a noun. Okay, so N equals noun. Now let's look for some verbs. Remember, those are action words, things that you can do, that an animal can do, that the weather can do. So for instance, look. We can use our eyes to look at a TV or look at the beautiful weather outside. Pull is also a verb. When you move something towards you, you pull it. The opposite of pull is push. So that's another verb. You push something away. Put is also a verb. You put your books on the table. You put your dirty dishes in the sink. So to put something somewhere is to set it down. Took is also a verb. It is the past tense of take. Now I take a nap. Yesterday I took a nap. Okay, so lots of verbs. And then there's one more part of speech I want to talk about. Do you remember what it is? Yeah, an adjective, right? Adjectives are describing words. So for instance, full is an adjective. It can describe how you feel. You could say, oh, I don't want any more dinner. I'm full, okay? You could use it to describe a glass and say, my glass is full, which means I have milk or juice or water all the way to the top. Good is also an adjective, right? We can use that to describe anything, right? The weather looks good for our baseball game, or I did a good job on my homework. So that's another describing word. Okay, so that's how we spell adjective. All right, so the last thing I want to talk about with you is on page 176. You are going to have a little bit of practice with verbs. You're going to take the words look, cook, pull, and push and turn them to the past tense. Now to do that, you just add ed. Nothing tricky there, right? Now I look out the window. Yesterday I looked out the window. Now I cook a pizza. Yesterday I cooked a pizza. I know that you hear that t sound at the end of the word, but it's still ed, right? Look becomes looked, and cook becomes cooked. That ed makes a t sound. Now when you get to the bottom of the page, it's a little trickier because here's where you see your rule breakers. So I give you the words take, shake, stand, and fly, and you have to change them to the past tense. Now I take a break. Yesterday I took a break. Now I shake your hand. Yesterday I shook your hand. Now I stand in line. Yesterday I stood in line. By the way, there's another schwa right there. Now I fly to the moon. Yesterday I flew to the moon. Okay, so we've talked about this before. When we want to write a verb in the past tense, when we want to make it sound like it already happened, we usually add ed, but sometimes we have rule breakers that take on a whole new word. So you're going to practice that a little bit more today. All right, that's all I have for you. Good luck, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.